Hey guys, it is Renee Smith here, author of The CEO Life, helping you to build a holistic life and business. All right, so today's Think Like a CEO tip is all about overcoming fear. But if I start, y'all see that I have on my little Delta jacket, right? Popping the collar to all my Delta line, my Delta sisters out there, my AKA Sigma Gamma Rho, all of my sorority sisters out there. My jacket just came, my line, we ordered it, and I just wanted to show y'all. It's cute, not a part of the video. I just wanted to put it on and share with you. So let's get into business. How many of you guys are limiting yourself because you are not doing things because you are afraid? How many of you guys know that you deserve more out of life, but you are not stepping out there and getting it because you are afraid, right? So today we are going to talk about, by the end of this video, you should understand how to do it afraid. Be fearless, walk in fear, and embrace it. So I think the very first thing that we have to do, and y'all excuse that truck in the background, I think the very first thing that you have to do is to understand that fear is normal, right? Just because you have fear, it doesn't mean that you don't need to do something, right? Whenever you're doing something different, then you are going to have fear. So I remember when I was growing up, I grew up very religious. It was like you can't have faith and fear, on the same, at the same time. What I've realized is that faith and fear is the same part of the continuum spectrum. And so you can still have fear and do it in faith. So just because I have fear about something, it doesn't necessarily, I'm popping my collar, guys. It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have faith. So the very first tip that I have for you in stepping out in fear is to, number one, realize that fear is normal and that you have to embrace the emotion. So when you're feeling fear, don't say, oh my God, I'm not feeling fear, or nothing, I'm not afraid. Because I remember a survey that was done a while back, and it was to a bunch of Olympian athletes, and it asked them, when you are getting ready to go into whatever that challenge is, do you feel fear? And what they said is, I used to say that I felt fear, but now I say that it's anxiousness, right? So you can actually shift the way that you think about it, which is number two, and you can turn fear into anxiousness. So number one, you have to basically realize that fear is okay, that it is normal, and embrace it. Don't try to stop it. Feel the emotion. But then number two, reframe the way that you think about fear, and you can say, oh my gosh, I am anxious, or I'm excited, about this, right? Yes, this is great. So you want to lean into fear. Okay, so number two, lean into fear. Number three, oftentimes we have fear because it's fear of the unknown. So number three is you need to do research, right? One thing that I teach my client to do is start at the top of what you have the fear about, and then drill all the way down. What is the worst case scenario that could happen? Let's drill that all the way down. Let's talk about the worst case scenario, which 9 times out of 10 wouldn't happen, but you already know how you are going to handle that situation. So number three is drill down and figure out more information about why you have that fear, and then research, gain more knowledge, and empower yourself. So even with the COVID vaccine, right, a lot of people have fear about it. So I have my own personal beliefs about, taking it or not taking it. But the very first thing that you have to do is go out there, do the research, figure out pros, cons, and then decide the right decision for you. Or same thing with people getting into new relationships, and they're like, oh my God, I don't really trust anybody. I mean, that's a whole nother video, which I'll talk about. But you've got to do your due diligence, do your research, ask the right questions, right? And so one thing I tell people is, it's not so much about trusting other people, it's about trusting yourself and trusting God, to know that regardless of what happens in any situation, that I will be fine and that I will be okay. Because people are human, people are gonna mess up, they're gonna disappoint you. And so this is for somebody out there. I don't know who it is, but if this is for you, catch it. You are trying to embark on a new relationship, but you've not done your healing work, and so you still are having all these trust issues, and you're putting all the stuff that happened in your previous relationship onto this new person. It is a good person, and it's the person that God has sent for you, but you're not able to recognize it. So number one, you've got to heal from that, and then number two, you've got to trust God, and you have to trust yourself that regardless of the situation, that you're going to be okay. So I didn't plan on saying that. So whoever that was for, that was get that. And then on the other side with business, you really want to venture out and you really want to do something bigger, but you're afraid. I'm talking to somebody else. You're afraid and you're scared because you don't feel like you're qualified. You don't feel like you have enough information. So you go, you do the research, you gain the knowledge, the information that you have, and then you step out. And as you step out, what you need to know and what you need to learn, it'll be revealed to you on the path. You're never going to know everything that you need to in the beginning, so step out. Some of the biggest successes that I've had in my business has been with stuff that I was not totally comfortable with. Like I had a little bit of knowledge, but I grew and I learned as I was working in that area. So guys, the message for you today is to step out in fear. Do it fearlessly, do it afraid anyway, and watch what happens. So you know how if you're if you're going parachuting, you have this parachute, right? It's never going to open until you jump out. So for some of you guys listening, it is time for you to jump. So I am giving you permission to jump. Stop waiting on a handout. Stop waiting on somebody to come help you. Stop waiting on somebody to come save you, because you have to save yourself. Nobody is coming to save you. You are your own answer. So my sister, my brother, jump out and then let the parachute open. So yes, you want to make sure that you use wisdom. You want to make sure that you calculate the risk, but and do the research. But once you do that, you have to jump out. So all of those little nuggets that I just talked to you about are in the CEO Life, specifically talking about stepping out in fear. So if you do not have your copy of your book, you might want to make sure that you get it. And so it's the book and then also the companion CEO Life Planner. So remember, you can have a holistic business and a holistic life. You can have success in your relationships, in your business, in your finances, in your relationships with your kids. You can have it. Do the work and then you will receive the results. All right, guys, make it a great week. Bye-bye.